Welcome back to the show. Joining me now in studio, we have Sherry Harty and Melissa Wright from the Lloydminster Men's Shelter. Welcome, ladies. Thanks so much for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. So how long has the shelter been serving our community?
Well, the organization, the Lloydminster Social Action Coalition Society, joined in 1998 when a group of concerned citizens came together to address the homelessness needs within the community. And it actually took 10 years in the making, but in March of 2008, the shelter opened and immediately started serving around 9 clients a night, the average in the beginning, and now we're up to about 20.
Wow. What do you think it added in the community sort of then, and what do you think it's changed and added now?
Initially, it was interesting because I was reading today a report that I wrote after the first 4 months of operation. And we did a lot of outreach because we were only serving 9 men a night. And so that was helping them find affordable housing, helping them get back on their AISH so they could afford their medications. And then, as we progressed, and I can recall Eugene Gibney, which was hugely instrumental to the opening of the shelter. He said, that's fine now, but when we're operating closer to capacity, we're going to have to focus on our mission, which is to provide emergency shelter to men older than 18 years of age who are not under the influence of drugs or alcohol. And I guess over the last few months, we've really had to go back to that because now that we're in the 20s, we don't have the resources with our funding that's in place to provide all that extra outreach. So right now, we are providing a safe place to sleep for men who are over the age of 18 and not under the influence.
How many volunteers run the shelter?
Right now, I think we have actual official volunteers. Well, we have a variety. So we have like people more behind the scenes, like people bringing bread to us, but actual ones that are in there doing client care, probably only about 2 or 3 right now.
Oh, wow.
Which isn't a whole lot. And we're talking about doing more of a fundraising or a volunteer drive to get more volunteers.
Ideally, we would like to have volunteers. Our most critical time to have volunteers is 7 to 9 on weekends because Sherry starts her shift at 7 and we have one of the client care workers goes home at 7 and the second doesn't go home till 9, and we feel it's unsafe for less than 2 people to be in the facility when the men are there. And so on the weekends we would like to always have a volunteer from 7 to 9 on Saturday and Sunday to cover those days. And a lot of time actually it's Sherry putting in overtime within her position, or some of the directors have been going in
yeah, a lot
and
of the
covering.
board directors. And then also for serving the meals during the week is a great time too, so that helps the client care assistants focus on getting the men in and organized, and then a volunteer there to help serve the meal as well is really helpful.
And I guess that's the thing too, in our initial mission we didn't plan to provide an evening supper meal, but considering that there's possibly only 2 nights during the week that there's a soup kitchen in Lloydminster, these men were in need of a meal. So above our funding that we get from Alberta and Saskatchewan government, we do provide an evening meal, but that's provided through community donations, so we're continually accepting food donations, and we have been very fortunate to receive some 4-H beef and that's helped out.
Now, are these men primarily from Lloydminster, do you think? Like, is it people down and out on their luck, or is it traveling? What kind of clientele do you get?
Well, kind of we were talking about this morning, even putting it into about 4 groups. So the first group of the 4 is new immigrants. So new immigrants that are new to country, or Lloydminster even, that are looking for a job and just need a place to stay while they get a job, and then also to get permanent housing. And the second group is more transient, and there's fellows that are definitely lead a more transient lifestyle. Third is mental illness, and we help them maybe work towards Libby Young, helping them get the resources they need. And then the fourth group is just more men with a history of drug and alcohol abuse, and just them transitioning into a more clean lifestyle.
That's great. Now, I mean, you guys are hitting sort of record high numbers, or at least you were in May, that's correct. Are you still hitting those numbers now?
Not record high. Right now,
good.
I think in June, like the last few nights, we've had like around 20 to 21, which is still high, not as high in May. In May, we had some nights up to 26, 27, and we have 28 beds, and so that's definitely near capacity. But the last few nights, definitely higher than, I think the first year we had an average number of 10 per night, second year was about 12, and then this year so far it's been about 18. So that's a huge jump in the last 3 years.
And that's a lot of people for only 2 volunteers as well, right? I mean, do you think that you've kind of outgrown your staff here for sure?
Well, we have staff. We have 4 full-time night staff, and then 2 day staff that help with the cleaning and cooking, and then myself as well. And then on top of that, we have a few casual, and then also the volunteers just help out just over and above.
Well, let's talk a little bit about why someone should volunteer or what someone would get out of volunteering. What do you think that experience would provide for them?
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because anyone that has volunteered has just really commented how rewarding it is, and it really is. And like even on the weekend I was in, so serving a breakfast or serving an evening supper, they do find it rewarding to help give something tangible that it helps them immediately meet their needs and just kind of connect a little bit over a meal. And I think that's the biggest thing, that they find it rewarding, like giving, but then they're also receiving, they seem to say as well.
Well, thanks so much for coming in, ladies. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks,
Well,
Whitney.
yes,
It's
thank
a
you
great
for
help
having
to
us.
the shelter to have this exposure.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Again, we had Sherry Hardy and Melissa Wright in from the Lloydminster Men's Shelter. Later in the show, we check out Lloydminster's Demolition Derby and go on a quest with one driver to bring home the trophy.